Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you're just prepping.
I am, honestly.
It's one less blanket you have to bring next time.
Oh no, I always take
Right.
them home too. They travel back and forth.
Ba-dong!
Alright, we'll keep
Soft,
this
gentle
going for
songs.
now. And then once we get to the new map, I have locational-based audio set up for that for fun purposes. So we'll shift to that.
Wow. Foundry really just decided to turn all my volumes back on.
This is from Groovy, playing currently.
Oh, that one's been muted.
Okay. Yeah. Just be sure to turn off ambient audio if you do not like it, Sam.
I turned them all off.
Hell yeah. I know you don't like doing... I know the music does bad things for your brain place.
Mm.
So, where we last left off, each of the parties had decided on their next mission and were beginning preparations to deploy. And your team in particular got some assistance from Feck in preparations and invitations to an upcoming event at one Goggin Ambercrest's estate. He is a halfling merchant of considerable repute, and one of Avi's main sources of establishing trade relations, because they are one of the few people with a intact trade network, being based out of the Hearthlands, which is the home of the halflings and the gnomes primarily, which has been less impacted by the war and doesn't have as solid of a military structure that the Silver Order has been able to take advantage of, from what she has told you thus far. Now, from what I recall, and correct me if I am wrong on this, the decisions that we came to regarding who was going where is that Reese and Lana would be going with one of the representatives as a up-and-coming female entertainer, and a shield bearer bodyguard, respectively. Is that correct for the first two of you?
Yes.
That is correct.
All right. And Tomas, you were going to be brought on as essentially a retainer for one of the younger nobles attending the party. Does that sound correct to you?
Yes, but I still don't remember what a retainer is.
A retainer is somebody that is knowledgeable in a particular set of skills that lord finds useful, so they keep them in their entourage to assist them in certain matters.
They bring you beds from other people's houses for ventures.
Oh,
It's a 14 joke.
Yeah, they also bring like just full-on houses.
Yep.
Yeah, they typically pay you a couple bucks, and then they give you the entire day to wander off, and you can bring them back anything from like a dragon scale from a legendary dragon to like a fish that you grabbed at the last minute as you were heading home from vacation.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, what are we talking about? Sorry, I missed something.
Retainers from Final Fantasy XIV.
I made a 14 joke.
Oh, I see. I was like, what? Do we need to bring a gift? I looked away for 2 seconds. Reese is the gift, excuse you.
Wow.
Oh, and a quick question for my purposes. Vit, what type of entertainer are you going to be posing as?
Oh no.
Acrobat.
Singer, musician, dancer.
Musician. I think specifically the lute, because the violin would be too obvious, I think. No. Yes. No, violin. We can stick with violin.
I was gonna say violin's a popular instrument.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Violins and woodwinds are very common elven instruments.
Yeah, so we'll stick with the violin. Have we decided on names? Because I just realized I hadn't.
Thomas.
If you say that name by Reese, he's going to grab your ear and twist.
will say that. Bye, Reese.
Well, surprise. Tiny Reese is
Reese.
going to twist his
Reese,
ear.
ow, why?
Because you need a better name.
That's even worse than Jules Upon the Rampart for Jerome.
I mean, it's not his name, but he also won't forget it.
Reese is like something else. Something that starts with a T.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What about, I don't know, Teague?
I hate that.
You don't have to like it.
I do, though, because otherwise I won't use it.
Do you want elven names that start with a T?
I'll look them up.
Okay. Reese and Lana, what are your names gonna be?
I'm thinking.
So, is there like a character asking that, or is it like Because
It is important.
I imagine that that Lana actually practiced her introduction with Vec, and as such they would know the name.
Oh, I know what Tomas would do.
But Lana would eventually decide on the name of Sir London.
Oh gosh.
Tomas will hear that and look at Reese and be like, but Thomas is bad.
Yeah, because it's just your name with an H.
Hey, Lana at least added 2 letters.
He's gonna go by Tathlin like a fucker. And only I know that joke.
Okay.
It's his oldest brother's name.
I'm struggling. Hold on.
Also, I need to send you pictures so you know what Tomas looks like today.
Oh boy.
Oh, I forgot to copy the picture before I clicked on our chat. So this is his hair color.
Matt, do you have lists of names? I'm struggling to find one.
Do you want elven names?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one
This is
second.
his hair color. Hold on, I still have mine up.
Fancy.
Alright. Race names. Where the fuck? I literally
then
just had it open. Okay.
his
Female
jacket
names.
is this. That is not.
Any letter preference?
Our first letter would be good.
Okay, we got Rosania, Rania,
Riley.
Rinia,
Rainy.
Ralientha,
Hmm.
Riley.
I might go with my original gut instinct and go with
Mhm.
Rosalind.
Well, that's
that could
pretty.
work.
Mm-hmm. Goes
It's
by
like a half elven name.
Mm-hmm. And goes by Rose as a stage name.
That works.
Finger guns. That was my first one, but I was like, that's lame. But
No,
then
I
I
actually
didn't find
love
anything
that
better.
name.
It's pretty.
Hey.
One of my coworkers, the new one, her name is Rosalind. She's really cute.
Rosalind is also the name of the babysitter in Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know anybody other than Calvin and Hobbes had names.
Rosalind has a name, and Susie has a name. Mom and Dad don't have names actually. They're just Mom and Dad.
They don't matter anyway, so it's fine.
Well, no, they matter. It's just they're only Mom and Dad.
Don't matter.
Moms and dads don't have real names. Everybody knows that. Once you have a child, you give up your name.
Miss
That's news to me.
Wormsworth, his teacher, actually has a name.
Huh.
Listen,
Uh,
you're extenuating circumstances.
Though you have
what
called me
was your
daddy
name
before.
again, Sam?
Fuck off.
What's your
Was
name?
it Talson or Tazlin?
Tasselin.
Tasselin. Okay.
Nope, I'll type it.
When you come up with that name, Sam, Feck lets you know that Tathalon. Okay. Feck lets you know to go by the family name Dalar.
Okay.
He lets you know that that is a small noble house in the far western reaches of the Elven lands that has since been wiped out in the war, but not many people were aware of them. So it's the safest name to go by that is actually credible.
Okay.
Based off his information network, he isn't aware of anybody with ties to that family that will be attending the event. Alright, so we have all of your names. Feck is currently finishing preparing your introductions, and you guys will be dropped off at various points to ride the rest of the way with your hosts via carriage. And as a heads up, Avi is going to be deploying on the mission as well.
Yay!
Yes.
Is
Um,
is she deploying separately?
yes. So, I received an invitation as well, so in the efforts of keeping up relationships, I will be attending to try to maintain and expand upon some of our contracts. And if I see opportunities to help you guys out subtly, I'll do what I can, but considering the nature of this mission, it's probably best that we don't interact with each other unless things get out of hand.
I'll miss you, Avi.
Oh, don't worry, we can watch over each other from a distance.
Reese will just wink.
And besides, after all the effort we went through to make you all look so wonderful, it would be a shame to not be able to see you all in person.
You kind of paused too long.
That was Matt pausing, not Avi pausing.
Oh, okay.
Avi's being genuine, not being con.
I would hope so, because Reese's outfit is her work.
I know, that's why I said it. I was just trying to come up with the one like, she wouldn't call everybody beautiful.
No.
But yeah.
Oh.
Alright, so, I'll give you a rough rundown of what I'm aware of. We've looked over it a bit with Nara and taken the opportunity to track who was in the area and who might be heading their way. And based off that and a number of his most common contacts, I have a rough idea of at least several of the people who will be going there. Unfortunately, at the top of that list is a detachment of Silver Order. Not surprising, since he does business with them as well, on top of everybody else. So expect to see some Silver Order presence there. So try to keep out of their way and avoid drawing their attention if we can. Luckily, we're still on good terms with them, but the last thing we need is to draw their attention and to make things more complicated than it needs to be. Other than that, list. Obviously, Gog and Ambercrest will be there. He's a halfling gentleman. A little taller than myself, with dark chestnut hair, and last time I saw him, he was fond of a full beard as well. He should be fairly recognizable. He dresses quite well, and I imagine that he will have the attention of most of the occupants when he is in any given room. He'll be focusing most of his attention on the guests he invited personally, as aside from this being a social gathering, it is also one of his favorite opportunities to go over the existing trade agreements he has with people, signing up new ones, adding new benefits and clauses, among various other things. He's a very interesting man, but try to keep your distance from him for the time being. He's been acting increasingly unusual as of late. He seems to be behaving well enough when in public, but the agreements he's been having with us have been getting increasingly curious. I'm wondering if he's just hedging his bets or if something else is afoot. Aside from that, the only person we can guarantee will be there, aside from the two that Feck has lined up, is Hildegard Bramblethorn, another halfling, his security advisor, and the leader of his personal security forces within the mansion. So aside from the Silver Order themselves, be on the lookout for other individuals with weapons and uniforms. Most people will not be allowed to brandish freely within the mansion, so anybody you see openly carrying arms and armor, expect that to be one of his guards. I highly recommend you avoid doing anything too illicit under their sight. It'll be... Well, if we need to break you out, it won't exactly be the most it won't exactly leave us too many covert options for continuing the mission.
Hey, so I got a question real quick.
Sure.
If if folk just there for the party ain't supposed to be wearing armor, what are they doing about the Silver Order folk? Do they just get like an armor waiver, or are we gonna see what's under it, or?
The Silver Order are, I imagine, a bit of an exception considering how much business they're likely drawing in. When individuals check into the party, anybody designated as security forces, either professionally or for the one they are traveling with, may be given certain exceptions. In your case, I imagine the dress armor that you're wearing will be allowed in without any issue. Getting any weapons past the door as a guest without previous approval would be difficult, though, so I would hope that anybody relying on such things has them safely tucked away.
So, Avia, a question about that actually. Just a little side thing. So you mentioned that, and I should probably let you know that these real fancy dress gloves I'm wearing, they're all runed up, and they actually have some hand wraps in there. Are they gonna know? Is that something I should be worried about? Kind of thought I could just kind of wiggle them on in there.
It's possible. They are aware of such magics existing, though, so they might request that you wear some sort of device to disable them temporarily for the duration of your stay.
That's actually a good question. Reese will tap his violin and be like, what about this one? I figure it's fairly subtle, but it does have a weapon in it.
Well, from what I've seen of your violin, it's pretty unique enchantment. It doesn't match up with your typical shifting rune, and most shifting runes don't allow you to convert it into a non-weapon like a violin, so you might be able to sneak it past them.
Okay.
I have. Character. I have Reese's coat, right?
Correct.
Yeah, been modified for your height because you're short.
I'm tiny.
It's funny because even female Reese is taller than Tomas. She's 4
Yes.
inches shorter.
Listen. And I'm sorry, I got distracted by this, Sam. What's the name of the person we're after?
Goggin Ambercrest. You're trying to figure out why he has been acting so strange as of late.
Okay. His name is stupid, that's why he's acting strange.
No, it's a pretty standard halfling name.
Mm.
Tomas, stop being racist.
Wow, well, okay. Rude, but okay.
I mean,
So as you guys are discussing this, you see Feck emerge from the portrait he had Nara set up in the observatory, and he says, "Ah, just who I was looking for. I finished making the proper introductions, so we should be able to send you all on your merry way within the day."
fantastic.
So, the two individuals you will be meeting up with, we'll start with you first, Lana and Reese. I found a wonderful gentleman by the name of Nalarin Early, an Oliva Alari performer of not inconsiderable level of fame, a bit of an up-and-comer. He worked behind the scenes for a number of years, but has had his name become more known as of late, leading efforts to re-establish the arts after the end of the first incursion. It's become a bit of a household name around the town in the last few years. He was looking for a couple of individuals to accompany him on the journey, help to have a couple of friendly faces along with him, especially considering he's mostly there to gather resources and make connections to help bolster the efforts to restore Oliva Lari and help bolster the morale of the individuals throughout the Elven lands, as things have been considerably grave as of late, as I'm no doubt you're all aware.
Sadly.
Can I make a check to see if Reese recognizes that name with my bardic lore skill?
Yes, you can.
Wee. It's a brand new skill.
Wee.
37.
Yep. It's a bit. Since you haven't been around Oliva Alari, at least your memories don't recall being around Oliva Alari much after the war. It's fairly new to you. You know that he has been involved in both stage management and musical orchestration for a number of years. Typically working in managerial roles rather than performance roles. But he always seemed to have a pretty decent reputation, but Oliva Alari has had no shortage of prodigies over the years, so it's a bit difficult to really get out there on your own without putting in the grind for quite a while. So it's not surprising that he hasn't really been a headline name if he is a bit newer.
That at least gives Ray stuff to talk about, though.
Yes, we'll be having him pick you up on the northern edge of Brescia. There's a nice inn along the way that I said that you all were returning from a performance throughout the Hearthlands for, but considering the affair going on at the Ambercrest estate, I was able to convince you and your wonderful bodyguard to make one last detour for a night of merrymaking and first impressions. And as for the individual you'll be meeting with, Tomas, luckily, at the very least, you won't have to worry about dealing with the uptight elven noble facade from him at the very least.
Oh, thank God.
Callum Elra is a bastard who recently came in as the head of the Elra family in northeastern Elven lands. The last of the legitimate heirs of his family died off recently, unfortunately, and he has been struggling to fill the shoes of his father, who unfortunately passed only a few months back. Considering the position and the wealth his family has, he is trying to use this as an opportunity to make some connections with the Ambercrest estate. They are nothing if not well connected, and considering his work for the last few years with the Slayers, Cullum is looking to acquire supplies and equipment to see that those he once worked with are properly supplied out in the field, especially since he is one of those who avidly is resisting any advances of the Silver Order into the Elven lands. So I figured you'd be a perfect fit to accompany him.
You're not wrong.
For your awareness, as I know you're not familiar as much with the spy games as Reese is, I informed him that you are one of the last of the nobles of your fallen house, and have been taken up the Slayer Oath for the past few years, and would be a helpful example of the type of situation that the Elven Land currently faces, and are familiar enough with the work that he could use a second set of eyes on anything that he might acquire during his arrangements there.
I actually really appreciate that. Not not good at keeping up lies usually. So that helps.
Oh, my favorite parts of the game are merely finding the proper pieces to play with.
Don't like that.
You'll be meeting up with him not far outside of the Elven Lands. It'll be a bit longer of a journey for you, but Western Brescia is fairly secure at the moment with the advent of the Silver Order, and they have papers to let them through. They're not quite at the state, luckily, where they're abducting people off the roads from other countries quite yet, so hopefully it should be a safe, if not a little longer than expected travel. So, do you all have any questions for myself before I go and make the final arrangements?
thinking. I think that's it.
Very well, then. I'll see to it that everything is in place, and I wish you all luck on your mission. Feck gives you all a bow and then departs back into the portrait. Alright, well, it sounds like everything's in place over there as well, then. I expect there's going to be a decent number of individuals at the event. Hopefully nothing you all can't handle.
I think there's just a couple more preparations I need to make. Could I get a violin case? Do we have access
I think
to
that
that?
can be managed.
Okay.
Right.
And
So-
there was one additional thing.
Sure.
Reese is also going to get the components for changing his familiar shape.
Okay. And what did you want to change it to?
A pygmy snowy owl.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I assume you're not even going to attempt to change Eadras, right?
Ooh. Is he just gonna come with me? Eadras. Let's see. I don't think he'll let me.
Oh god, no.
Reese is just squinting at him like, And then Reese is like, hey, Eadras, buddy, pal, can you wait outside?
Very well.
Thank you. I'll get you some wine after.
I'll hold you to that.
Maybe a cake, if I can find one. Bribing
He
the
doesn't
bird.
respond to that.
Reese is like, okay.
Matt,
Yes.
did we determine that I could have Maya with me if she was house cat size?
Yes.
Okay.
Were you planning to carry them around, have them on your shoulder, or to get like a
Papoose.
familiar carrying case?
On my shoulder. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I have a cat perch.
They're like, wow, that's a beautiful like snow leopard. What the hell are they called? The furs you wear over your shoulders.
Oh.
And then it just
My-
looks at them.
And
they're just
Tomas
like,
is like,
ah.
I was like, this is Maya.
She's taking a nap.
Should everybody be dressed up by the time, like, we leave?
Yes, when you depart, they ask that you all set up in your whatever equipment you're going to go to the ball in. You're being picked up from various points that are less than a day's travel to the event itself.
Ah, so we'll need to get changed on the road. I think, right?
You guys will be close enough that if you want to travel in your party-going attire, then that should be fine.
Okay.
If you go to like the world map.
Yep.
Tomas is going to be picked up from like this border here. All right. From like this area over here, just south of the capital of the Hearthlands.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are going to be picked up from within the Hearthlands, and the estate is over here by the coast.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
Are you guys okay if I restart my computer real quick? Because it's running a little funky.
That is fine. I was gonna go grab a drink anyway.
Wee.
So while they're doing that, I kind of wanted to go back in time a little bit to
Sure.
to the first time that Lana would have introduced herself with her new body.
Mhm.
To who?
To
Like,
Reese.
party? Oh gosh.
No, to Reese.
Because Reese has been in a female body since the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
Getting
So
tailored.
yeah, Lana.
So Lana's
Lana
gonna go.
definitely saw that and got the idea.
Yeah. That's funny.
So where would Reese just like generally be at when hanging out?
He'd either be with Avi and Emmy, like for tailoring and practice, like just etiquette practice, being feminine, or in his room, avoiding people.
Oh, okay. So Lana would probably just like catch him in the hall in transit and just kind of be in her male body. She goes, "Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sir London. I am going to be your protection during the party." And just give like a perhaps overly extravagant, like elegant, like bow.
Can I roll perception on that?
Mhm.
Cool. Cool. Insight check. Failed. Instantly.
Lana's not being particularly open or subtle.
Oh.
She's just like practicing and like showing off a little bit.
Reese just staring for a moment and then being like, hello?
Hi. Wasn't it good?
Buffering for a second. Squinting for a second. Lana?
Hi.
Oh. Not bad. The bow is a little dramatic.
Oh, was it too much? I think Feck told me it was a little too much during practice, but
Reese is like,
no.
well, bow more like this. And Reese will do like a bow.
Okay.
And make sure to keep your eyes on who you're bowing to.
Okay, eyes up. Right. I remember that one. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yep. That should be better.
This is weird. This outfit is really stuffy. I don't know how people wear stuff like this.
Reese, who wears like 8 layers, like just staring. You don't say. I, for one, am feeling a bit odd showing so much skin. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. How tall is Lana now?
Probably like just under 6 foot, I bet. I don't know.
Yeah. You can't affect your height terribly much with the gender swap potion.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why Reese went down like 4 inches, but that was about it. Reese is just like, you're slightly taller than me, like this.
That's a weird sensation.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. This is weird.
I mean, it's gonna go back to normal when I flop back anyway, so I wouldn't stress too much about it.
You wanna know what's really weird? Just all of this in general. Tomas will just gesture at both of them.
I mean, hey, you were the first one to do it, so I don't think
Yeah,
you
but
got a
you-
leg to stand on here, Tomas.
Listen, but I did it before you knew me.
True.
Reese is just gonna look at Tomas and then just like bat his eyelashes.
Don't do that. Please. For the sake of this mission succeeding, I need you to not do that.
I mean, it's just like some eyelashes. I'm not seeing what the problem here is.
Yeah, I don't see what the problem is, Tomas.
Is there a problem, Tomas?
Reese, you full well know what the problem is. Thank you very much.
Oh no,
But-
please tell me.
I mean, if there's something that's gonna compromise, like this is an important mission we're going on here. I like AV stockpiles. I gotta know if there's something we can do to help.
Yeah, Tomas.
I hate this. I'm going to leave. Goodbye.
Okay.
See you later. Tomas. Let me know if you need anything from me.
Bye, honey.
I hate you both.
What a dramatic guy. I don't know what's going
Start
on.
snickering.
What was that all about?
Maybe it's this Foundry and not my computer. It's very laggy for me.
Weird.
Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. Actually, this is our first time like actually going out and doing something like this. It's kind of cool.
I'm actually really excited. I haven't been to a party in, well, my memory hasn't been to a party for a while. I don't think I've ever been to one.
Yeah, same here actually. I mean, I was just, raised back home on the farms, but I never anything like real fancy like this. This is gonna be a new experience for me.
Maybe you should try it in a dress next time.
Maybe I will. Maybe when I don't have to, go all around being all mimbly bimbly and hiding who I am, that'd be really cool. Although I would still be a knight though, so I reckon they probably don't make armored dresses. That might be a little much, but who knows?
Maybe they'll throw a giant party for us when we save the world.
Oh, you think they would? That'd be great.
Yeah, and then we can dress however we want.
I love that.
I'll do your makeup. And your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, keep practicing. I have to go try and walk in heels.
All right. I mean, I never done that either. I don't know how some people do it, so I'll leave you to do your work on that one.
And there they go, off to do
There
weird
they
gender
go.
things.
I'm glad I got that little scene in there.
The feeling when between the three of them, Tomas is the one who's walked in heels before.
Oops.
Oh,
Hey.
oops.
Haha.
It's time for pajamas.
I'm trying to think if there's any other preparations Reese needs to make. I'm guessing if we have magical worn items, it's not an issue.
Depends on the magical item.
Okay.
Lana's prayer beads.
Do they shoot danger beams?
Yes. She has one danger beam in them.
What's the danger beam?
A 4th level divine wrath.
Okay. Reese is leaving his wand of manifold missiles behind.
You might be able to get away with that because of your disguise.
Ah, right.
I'm not gonna be taking the hat of disguise. I'm pretty sure Reese was loaning that to Tomas, maybe?
No.
Mm.
I think Reese was just changing Tomas's hair.
Well, he's not gonna take it because, obviously. Probably still need the messenger's ring.
Taking our wayfinders and Ironstones. Is taking our wayfinders and Ironstones safe?
It's a good question.
I think most of the Ion Stones you guys have are like fairly non-aggressive.
Yeah, I know Tomas's is.
Mine is a comprehend language one.
Yeah. Pretty much anything that doesn't actively hurt people
Okay. I took off anything
or have
that
the potential
isn't-
to hurt people.
Yeah, I took anything that seems shifty, except for my ring of lies. Thanks, Eadras, for that.
Hey, what's that? A ring of truths?
dead grandfather's ring. He said it was magic, but he never told me what it did.
So Vit, as
What?
a heads up, so you don't say that magical items when you bond with them
I know.
tell you what they do.
I know. I know.
Matt's just like, don't say that.
I was being a fuck.
That's how you go to jail.
Yeah. Are they gonna be looking at what we're wearing though? That's the question. We'll see, I guess.
Yep, it depends on how tight their security is.
Now you're making me nervous.
And for my knowledge, Sam, where's your bow? Lana, where's your sword?
My bow.
Lana's gonna keep Dawnblade at home.
Okay.
My bow is in the sleeves. My quiver's in my gloves.
Like Lana
Right,
is
you have the
banking. Lana is banking on the gloves working.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, any final things to pick up before you depart? Does everybody have their 2 consumables?
God damn it.
Oh.
Healing potion
Fucking
equipment.
hell.
Me and Sam both. Fuck.
Why do I always forget this part?
I forgot it too. Also, Matt, I do have a question about like the journal thing.
Sure.
I didn't use my hero point from that. Does it travel over or is it week to week?
This is your first mission session since you did that, so it would be applied here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you burn like lol. You guys did it in a downtime session week. You fucking losers.
Thank you. Oh god. For a second, I forgot the website. Wee.
TUI.ARPRD.
That doesn't help me.
The website.
I just Google Pathfinder 2 wiki.
I just
Yeah,
type in Nethys and click on the first Nethys page in my history.
Yeah, same. I just go Archives of Nethys 2E and just bring up the Aeon Purd.
Me over here like TUI.AONPRD.
Your brain's weird.
So, out of all the fucking things for you to remember,
I remember weird jumbles of letters and numbers very well. Other things, no.
Okay. Let's take a look at magical items.
Are we expecting combat?
I don't think so.
The premise of the mission did not mention combat.
But shit could go south.
I mean, in theory, combat can happen if you, like, walk up to a guard or, like, the Silver Order and punch them in the face.
Come on now.
Or if you commit crimes in front of guards, but...
My character sheet.
Mummified bat, wee. No, that's not what I'm taking.
Ma'am, why do you have a mummified bat?
Cause I'm crazy.
Fucked up and crazy, yo.
I'm here to get crunk. Swan boat? What?
Actually, I'm gonna scroll through real quick and see if there's anything that might help her hide her items or something a little better. I don't know.
I can just make a boat? That's so funny.
I want a synesthesia arrow just in case things go south.
Okay. And there are a lot of people in this event.
Mhm.
So maybe one of them will actually get affected.
Mhm.
You've had a lot of constructs and undead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It doesn't stop him from trying. It's
We
up to
appreciate that.
13th level, right?
1 14th level, 1 13th level.
That is a really cool item. Probably not for this mission though, but I'm going to remember that, hopefully. See, a lot of the consumables aren't good for missions like this.
Mm-hmm.
What is a mending lattice? What is this? Oh, that's cool. Mm-mm-mm. That's a cool item. Hello?
I like the grinning pugwampy.
I'm going to take, just in case, a potion of tongues. I just have to remember to use that because I'm pretty sure the party is not going to be longer than 4 hours. Most parties aren't, at least. Question marks. I feel like I'm tempting fate. Mm-mm-mm.
Matt, I've got a question.
Sure.
Is it okay if I just put both of the serums of sex shift that Lana bought as her consumables and just like add 120 gold back to my inventory?
They expire after the mission, though.
I will allow it.
Oh.
Okay.
Where you use one before the mission and one after the mission.
Yeah. That was just kind of what I was thinking. I don't know what to take for this. This just seems kind of weird, so I figured I might as well reimburse the sex shift cost. Seems kind of neat.
Yeah. If you want to do that, Vit, you can as well. Unless you find something else that you would rather take. Because I know those potions are fairly low level.
They are. I'm okay eating the price for it.
Can I have a moderate swapping stone?
The fuck is that?
It's
Link it to
uncommon,
me.
so I'm asking.
Oh, I didn't even notice that the potion of tongues was uncommon. I should ask that as well.
Potions of tongues would be fine for this.
Okay.
I will allow it.
Big stones!
Stones.
Come on,
So
science, how to teleport.
buffers. This could be either really stupid or really smart. I'm going to take a scroll of plane shift, just in case, and I'm going to tuck it into the lining of the violin case.
Just in case shit breaks so bad that we need to get off the plane of existence.
Well, he can't learn teleport yet. So, he can plane shift them to the Feywild.
Oh boy!
If
All right,
I've heard
guys,
that place is...
We'll go visit Feck and he'll bring us back. Just don't fucking talk to anybody.
Yeah, basically. Because Reese can technically plane shift to Feck's abode because he's been there. Technically, I think. Oh, I don't have a tuning fork. Fuck, never mind. It doesn't work.
Can you not just buy a tuning fork while we're at base?
That's a good question.
If that is your plan and you have it before the last second, you could ask Feck for a tuning fork.
Is this a bad idea? Should I use like a different spell scroll?
No, I just want to make, like, if you were doing it after Feck left for the last time, he wouldn't be around to give it to you. That's the only
Okay.
caveat.
Okay. Wait, I do have teleport. What? You and the targets. You and up to 4 targets touched! What's the range? 100 miles. I'm just gonna take... One second. Heightened 7th. Yeah. I'm just gonna take a 7th level teleport scroll instead. How about that?
Just looking up teleport real quick. See how the spell works. Okay.
Okay. That's our escape plan. If things go really bad. Please don't let things go very bad.
Guess we'll have to see.
Please no. There's my consumables, I think. Sorry for the craziness.
Okay. I will note with the restriction on targets, if your pets are not in tiny baby form, then they will count as one of the targets.
So
That is good to know.
okay. So like basically if Maya is big size.
Not house cat. Yeah.
Because Percy's always little.
Alright.
I don't know if
Is that everything?
I think so. Am I the last one? Feels
I think
bad, man.
that was everybody, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It is all good. So, let's get you guys dropped off then. So, as you're finishing your shopping, Nara tells you that she has finished setting everything up and begins to drop you guys off in teams. Starting with Tomas being dropped off by himself at the at a Slayer lodge on the border of the Elven lands and the Hearthlands, and then Reese and Lana at a small, just outside of a small roadside inn, a bit closer to the estate. So we'll start with you, Tomas.
Oh no.
So, a short while after you are dropped off, you hear the sounds of a carriage arriving in the distance. And as you check outside, you can see that a small 4-person horse-drawn carriage has rolled up outside the otherwise vacant lodge, and one of the 2 drivers hops down off the driving seat and comes up to the door of the lodge and lightly raps on it with the back of his knuckles. Are you going to answer the door, dear?
Oh, I'm in the carriage.
No, you're in the lodge they just knocked on the door of.
Oh, I thought he was knocking on the door of the carriage. I was waiting
Sorry,
for
no.
a thing to happen.
No, he was knocking on the door of the lodge.
Oh yeah, he'd answer the door and just be like, "Hello."
Greetings. Are you one? He looks at a small document in his hands. Are you one Tathalan?
This is gonna look the guy up and down and be like, who's asking?
I am a steer. Lord Elra's driver for this evening.
Yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. Are all your possessions in order?
Yup.
Very well. Then follow me, sir.
Also give a
And-
nod. Follow, close the door.
He leads you up to the carriage and gets the door and pops down a side set of stairs for you and gestures for you to enter inside.
Tomas is working very hard not to scowl at anything
Yep.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep a nice neutral face.
Oh no, Tomas is alone with a stranger.
And people are doing things for him. He don't like that. And
That's not what he said last night.
listen, different situation. And he'll climb up in the carriage and take the empty seat.
Alright. So, you climb up to the back of the carriage and take one of the empty seats opposite of the other occupant within the carriage, who I will post in general for you.
Ooh, he's hot.
Will you post his name too?
Yes.
Because I will forget it.
I like his scar.
Mm.
I got this out.
Matt out here making thirst traps.
I mean, yeah. Foundry, no. Okay.
Maybe Foundry's just wonky today. I had some issues with it.
Might just be wonky.
What a nice name. Kellum.
So he's Lord Elra, and his first name is Kellum.
Correct.
Okay.
And from what you were told, he is the bastard son of the Elra family, who was recently brought in to act as their lord, and the last legitimate heir died.
Tomas can vibe with that.
Yeah.
Beck is smart.
You can see hung on a rack at the back of the carriage is a bow and a quiver, similar in design to the one that you normally wear, which lines up with the story that Feck told you that he was previously a slayer before being brought in to act as a lord, and that he is attending this event in order to acquire supplies and equipment for his former slayer allies.
Okay.
So, the man slouched a bit over in his seat, obviously not wearing the typical regal bearing, gives you a quick look over with his amber eyes before going. Well, you look the part at least.
Tomas will sit up straight and back in like perfect posture in his seat. Cross a leg over his knee and just give like a small wry smile. He's like, my family made sure to train me well when I had to.
Good, because that's what I'm looking for. It sounds like you served the Slayers for a bit too.
Yeah. Still I am, at least. When I can.
Good to hear. I unfortunately don't have the option of heading back out with them quite yet, but I'm looking to help them out how I can. And the Marquis told me that you were a bit familiar with both worlds, to put it lightly. I'll be blunt with you. I'm looking for somebody that has an understanding of how important the Slayers are and what they need, but the proper trained talk to those stuffed up jackasses that are going to be at that event.
Wait, did he call them stuffed up jackasses?
Yeah.
Tomas will actually grin at that. Like, full, genuine grin. He's like, I think I like your style. Yeah, had the joy in my younger days of having to woo and convince the stuffed up jackasses that what they needed to do was give me what I wanted. So.
And he gives you a bit of a sharp, toothy grin at that, and he says, "So, mind putting up that farce one more night?"
Honestly, my boyfriend will probably kill me if I don't, so yeah, let's do it.
He will.
Glad to hear it. So, you guys trap for a bit talking back and forth. He gives you a heads up that he has a meeting planned for later in the evening with Goggin and would like you to accompany him during those talks to handle the more delicate matters, whereas he is capable of talking logistics at the very least without any of the etiquette directly involved. He mostly asked that you stick around to help deal with formalities and make sure he doesn't cause a scene by doing something too uncouth if left to his own devices.
If he says it like that, Tomas will laugh again, and he's like, as the resident scene causer of my family, I think I can handle that.
Alright. So.
Oh no, they're made for each other.
I was like, how do I give Tomas a noble that he doesn't want to kill?
You make it Tomas.
I find another feral elf boy.
I'm gonna go put some notes in his character sheet real quick.
Alright. So, cutting over to Lana and Reese. You are all stationed at a inn, enjoying a, if you would like, enjoying a light drink or meal while you wait about an hour or so for your carriage to arrive. At which point, a larger, about 6-person carriage rolls up. One of the drivers hops off and looks at a small envelope that they have before looking around at the patrons of the inn before finally spotting you two and walking over and says, "Pardon the intrusion. Would you happen to be Sir Landon and Rosalind?"
That would be us, yes.
"Greetings. I will be one of your 2 drivers tonight. Nalarin is already waiting in the carriage. Do you need any help grabbing your provisions and loading them into the carriage?"
I think I'll be okay. I prefer to keep it close, but thank you. And Reese will look back to Lana.
Lana will just kind of pause for a moment and just go, I've got everything I need, thank you, sir.
Of course. If you're all ready then, please follow me. And similar to the treatment that Tomas got, you guys are led up to the carriage. The doors are opened and you are given a ramp to head up inside.
Reese will head inside and accept any help offered. Because he's still a little bit unsteady in the heels. Just a little bit, though.
Right. Inside, there is a single half-elven gentleman waiting to greet you. I have just posted his image in there. That is accurate, except his gloves do not have the claws on them.
Oh, dang. That ruins it. No.
I know, right?
He's very handsome.
Yeah, I like his crow.
I do too.
And there are the guests of the evening. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. The Marquis spoke very highly of both of you.
Oh, he's such a wonderful host. Thank you so much for allowing us to accompany you. And Reese will take a seat.
Of course. I'm heading over to make a petition about how important Aliva Alari's entertainment is to the greater Elven lands. It wouldn't hurt to have a rising star of our wonderful city to accompany me and help prove that point.
Oh, of course. I'm more than happy to, and I just like performing, so it's a bonus.
It's very much appreciated, and sorry. And of course, if we do need to call upon your services, I will be more than happy to see that you and your companion are both duly compensated for your time here.
Thank you. And I hope we all have a wonderful evening.
I very much hope so as well. This is my first time attending this event directly, but if rumor is to be believed, these are quite the affair, so I very much look forward to seeing how gracious our host can be.
Reese will look over at Lana and say, "Aren't you excited as well?"
Quite, yes. I just hope that my own services aren't as necessary. It should be a wonderful evening. Lana still seems kind of like, still like a little rigid, like it's still not entirely natural to act this way, but you know, she's trying.
Reese is giving like little nods, and they look like polite, understanding nods, but they're just gentle nods of like encouragement, like yes, yes.
Yeah, you'll forgive me my rigidness. This is my first time doing something so high class.
Reese will like lean to the side and wrap his arms around Lana's, and be like, "He's shy."
Oh, it's quite understandable. From what I understand, your order is fairly austere and prefers more practical engagements. But I do greatly appreciate the time that you and your order were willing to put aside to attend this event. The roads have been fairly safe in the Heartlands to my understanding, but it never hurts to have an extra pair of hands around, and it shows a little extra level of authority and cooperation when you arrive with the company of such an established order as yourselves.
That was the intention, I believe.
Yes, I very much so look forward to a pleasant evening once we arrive there. Hopefully you shouldn't have too much to worry about yourself other than to relax and just keep an eye on things as they play out. As I understand it, security will be well in hand between Lord Ambercrest's own men and that of his other guests.
That was the expectation. and he'll pause for a moment and just go, now what? My focus will be more on ensuring a pleasant evening for myself and the lady.
Reese will just beam.
Yes. That is exactly what we're looking for. To show how peaceful and cooperative it can be for everybody involved. So, you guys spend a bit of time talking as you travel down the road a bit. He tells you that he has a meeting with Gog and Ambercrest around the middle of the evening. He says that he won't need you both directly involved with that meeting itself, but he asks Reese if you are comfortable potentially putting on a performance after the fact for the guests in case it comes up as a show of faith of the type of investment he is looking for.
Oh, of course. I'd be more than happy to.
That would be very much appreciated. I will let you know if anything comes up and buy you the appropriate amount of time to make any preparations you need before entering the stage.
That would be very much appreciated.
Alright. So, you guys travel on the road for a little bit, and then eventually you arrive at the Ambercrest estate. So, let me cut off the jukebox.
Wee! Also, if anybody wants to see Reese's dress and hairstyle, I have them.
I do.
I already sent them to you.
You know.
But she wants to see him again.
Should I just post them in general? I can do that.
Yeah.
This hairstyle is so ridiculous. But it's fantasy, so who cares?
It's flowers. I feel like I need to now show Tomas's fancy coat.
Which is Reese's coat, and will become
There you go.
Reese's coat again. After this mission. Ooh.
This is Tomas's fancy coat.
Oh, it's fancy. Mad.
And his hair right now. But black.
This music's very fun.
Yeah, I
You're
love
very
this song.
fun.
So,
Anything.
as you all
Oh, do I need to? No.
select your token,
Mhm. Oh. How fun.
yes,
Wait, what did it do?
it's playing ambient audio when you have your token selected.
Oh.
I know this song. Is this from
Yes.
Skullgirls? I think it's from something.
It is from Caravan Palace.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like Caravan Palace. It's Electro Swing.
I love
Yep.
it.
So, one by one, guests begin arriving at the party and begin stepping out of the carriages. Reese and Lana, you arrive first with your patron and are escorted off of the wagon. The two drivers see to it that the carriage is properly parked by the stables and that anything you want to leave with the carriage are properly looked after. Otherwise, you are free to start heading towards the estate itself, and there are two smaller guards placed outside of the entryway.
Reese will pretty much just take the case. Just in case, you know.
Just in case.
Ah!
I have to fix the pings, but the guards are right over here outside the doorways.
Okay.
Alright. Alright. Do you both have everything in order?
So it would seem.
Indeed.
Alright. Let's make our way inside then. So, as you head towards the gates, one of the guards just gives you a quick gesture to stop and says, "May I see your invitations, please?" And the man reaches into his jacket coat and hands out a 3 spread of invitations to the guard, who quickly looks them over and nods, and gives you all a quick look over. None of you. Okay, let me make a quick perception check. Probably help if I quote a 20. Here we go. Alright. So they give you all a quick look over. They notice a couple items on you, Lana, that have the faint glow of magical runes and other spell auras around them. Just the way they glisten ever so slightly under light, and say, "It seems here that you are a member of the Shield Bearers, acting as a bodyguard of sorts. Would you mind declaring any magical items you have on you, sir, for security purposes?"
Oh, absolutely, yes. I would be delighted to. And Lana will go ahead and write those down. She's not gonna try to be sneaky with the hand wraps since they are doing the audit, because she knows she's not sneaky enough to get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna go ahead and just declare those.
All right. All right, that seems in order, and these documents that were provided seem fairly accurate to the ones that we were forwarded in preparation. All right, that all looks good to me. Would you mind stepping forward for a bit? And they pull a small item out of a satchel at their side and say, "We're just going to mark it so it doesn't trigger any of the security flags as you step in." And they run this item over your gloves, your rosary, and any other magical item that you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right.
While he's doing that, Lana will kind of perk around and be like, "But security checks? That's actually quite impressive. I didn't realize that you had like an automated system to flag unique items."
Yes, we can't go into the exact details, but for the security of our guests, the master of the estate has set up checkpoints at the various points to warn of any magical items brought into the establishment that aren't properly declared.
Wow, color me quite impressed. That's a very sophisticated system.
Does anybody else have anything else they would like to declare before heading in?
Reese will hold his hand up.
And what do you have on you today, young lady?
Reese will declare the Wayfinder with the Ion Stone in it. It's just for language. Pendant of the Occult, specifically for magic identification, because it just helps with checks. and the messenger's ring, which is just for sending.
All right. And are you going to declare the Ring of Lies or
I
the
unequipped it.
violin? Hey. And just for your reminder, you do have the violin and you do have the scroll in the violin case.
Oh, crap. Yeah. Would also declare the violin and the scroll. And the potion, I guess. No, I probably would have drank the potion on the way. Like, right before we got there.
What potion was it?
The potion of tongues, it lasts for 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Alright. What do you say that the violin does?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been trying to think about that. I will state that there's an enchantment on it that amplifies sound a little bit. Makes it a little bit more clearer in crowded rooms.
Alright. Give me a deception check.
Oh boy! Starting off strong. I'm gonna get us killed. Ooh. Can I hero point that?
You can.
There we go.
Ah!
That's fair enough. And as you're going over all that, I'll say that roll also accompanies it. So as they're looking over the scroll as well, you say that's some sort of accompanying spell that's used to bolster the effects under specific situations to help enhance the ambiance.
That sounds good to me.
All right. So they look it all over and says, all right, that all sounds good to me. And they look it over and they pull out some document that you haven't seen before and give it a quick look over before looking at the spells around your violin before folding the parchment back up and giving everything back to you after it's been marked off.
Thank you. Extra hero point.
Wee!
I should have just
All
kept my Ring of Lies. No, it's fine. Didn't want to explain that one.
All right. And is Percy coming with you?
Yes.
Are you just explaining him as a familiar?
Yeah.
All right. They give him a quick little mark as well, and you are all cleared to step into the building.
Sweet.
As you guys are traveling, you do note that your patron does declare his bird as a familiar, and they mark that off. That is the only magical item he mentions as you guys head into the building.
Interesting.
And you guys head into the party.
Oh, it gets louder.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so nifty.
Mm-hmm. It basically covers the entire estate and gets quieter the farther away you go.
That is so cool.
So, as you guys are heading inside and starting to get a look around, Tomas, you and your patron arrive. Similar note, the drivers help everybody get out of the wagon and bring it around to be dropped off and hold on to any items that you leave with the cart. Is there anything you would like to leave with it?
Okay, I have a logistics question first.
Correct. Go ahead.
I have the quiver and the gloves, right?
Yes.
What happens if I put the gloves in the sleeve?
It'd shunt the gloves back out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while they're traveling, Tomas is gonna sit there. He's like, "Fuck, they're gonna question us about magical shit, aren't they?"
Probably. They got enough money to buy just about any kind of security system they'd want, and I imagine they don't want people smuggling in anything too dangerous.
Okay, hold on 1 second. He's gonna sit there. He's gonna like manifest his quiver from his gloves in front of this guy.
Yep.
and then he's gonna shove it up his sleeves. And out of his sleeves, he's gonna pull like this little bag, pull out one cat treat and give it to Maya, and then shove those in his gloves.
Amazing.
Also, if there is room in the carriage while they're traveling, he will let Maya be big with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just gonna sit there and pet her and just vibe with this dude. But before they get out, he'll make her smaller.
Is Maya large yet?
If they're in the carriage while they're traveling, he would, yeah.
No, I meant, is she large sized at full size?
I
Or
don't
is she
think she
medium?
gets to large. I think she only gets to medium because she's nimble.
Double check that, because I thought they both get big of it. Oh, she might get large when she becomes like specialist. That's what I'm thinking of. Real quick, let me just double check that to be safe.
Her character sheet still says medium.
Nimble. Okay, yeah, nimble do not go up in size. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she could become large enough. Do you ask him about it beforehand?
Hold on 1 second. This one. Yes.
He just gives Tiny Maya a quick look over. Who dropped?
Groovy.
Oh, whoops. Lol.
Bye,
Yeah,
Groovy.
he just gives Tiny Maya a quick look over and says, "Oh, that's fine."
It's like, oh good. I don't think she actually likes being small like this, but you know, situational requirements, and then he'll like push the little button on her collar. Goes poof.
I was wondering what the deal with the cat was. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, she helped save Kirill's life, so you know, she's a special cat, and she goes everywhere.
Somewhere in the distance,
He just cocks his eyebrow at that.
Reese just feels a sudden wave of disappointment and he doesn't know why.
Tomas will just sit there, like he didn't say anything, you just give her more treats and pet her head.
God.
You're a pretty devout one then, I guess. Well,
I'm sorry,
we all
what did
have
you
our
say?
own flares. He says you're a pretty devout one then, I guess. Well, whatever. We all have our own flares.
And when you lose a lot of people, you gotta find something, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's his plan. Instead of having his quiver in his gloves, he's got cat treats. Because Sam got paranoid.
After a little bit of traveling, he will ask if he can pet Maya.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. He gives them a couple test pets and then does that thing where you grab the cat by both sides of their face and scratch squish.
Oh, and she fucking loves it. She's a ham.
Roll me a perception check, Sam.
Could you see? I forgot to take it off a self roll.
I cannot see that.
Okay, hold on. I put
Just faintly, you see him smiling. He seems to have a small bit of affinity for animals.
Maya brings everybody together.
Yeah.
She is the team cat.
You plan on wearing that jacket in?
Yes.
Alright, I'll see if I can't get them to wave the whole Slayer thing away. It's not
Okay.
exactly like you can pull out a bow in a quarter second and start loosing arrows. It's a
It'll
little
probably
bit more
take me-
cumbersome than a dagger.
Yeah.
Because I want you to imagine how awkward it is pulling a fucking full-ass longbow out of
Oh,
your sleeve.
I just
with one
imagine him
hand.
trying to shove the quiver up in there. Maya's probably watching her papa with disappointment while he does stupid shit.
Reese would be watching Tomas with disappointment if he was there.
Listen, new best friend.
Alright, so eventually you guys roll up with the cart, and as you step out, you see him steel himself with a breath for a second, and for the first time since you got in the cart, he straightens his back up, and you can almost feel like you almost hear his spine cracking from the force of the gesture as he stands upright and heads out with as much of a regal bearing as he can muster and starts heading towards the door.
Before they get out, he'll make Maya small again, and he'll be situating her on his shoulders while he watches his new friend do this. He's like, yeah, know that feeling. And follow.
Alright. So, same deal. They asked for the invitations. He pulls them out from his sleeve and hands them over. They give you They give you both a quick look over. All right. Do either of you have any magical items that you wish to declare?
So Tomas will declare his Wayfinder and his Aeon Stone. His Ring of Sustenance.
Yep.
His coat and his gloves.
And for your reminder, Maya's collar is magical.
And Maya's collar.
Alright. They give you a quick look over and ask if they can see the contents of your coat and your gloves.
Better leave Reese's wine stash alone.
So Tomas will pop out Maya's cat treats. He's like, she prefers it when they're readily available. You understand how a hungry cat gets, right?
We'll see. Yeah. Do yourself a favor and try to keep it on dry food. The second you turn them over to wet, they never stop asking for it.
Oh, I know. I did it once, and she's already spoiled.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, she's cute though. You know, makes you happy.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen a cat like her, but
Yeah.
she does look very nice.
Oh, thank you. She appreciates the compliments that make. She's just gonna get more spoiled, little princess.
Alright. And are you pulling everything out of your coat one by one?
He's going to leave his bow and his quiver in there. But he'll pull out things like he's like, well, I've got water skin in here. I got a couple books, you know, just in case, you know, parties. Sometimes you just gotta get away.
You taking all of Reese's shit? I was going to.
I'm going through Tomas's shit, but yes, he's gonna take out Reese's like generic shit out of the coat.
And you see the patron giving you a look over and like for the love of God, please don't try to hide the weapon look.
Okay, but if he doesn't try to hide the weapon, take it.
If you want to hide the weapon, I will need a deception check from you.
Remember what happened to me.
He won't try to hide the weapon.
So, as you pull out the bow and quiver, they give you a concerned look over, like, "Sir, are you trying to bring a fucking weapon into this party?" And your host lets out a sigh and says, "Yeah, we're both slayers by trade. It's a bit natural for us to try to keep these things on us in case things go bad. Look at the lad, though. It took him 30 seconds to get a bow out. I'm pretty sure even if half your officers were drunk, they could get into the ground before he got halfway through." Persuasion check.
I was trying not to look too offended at that.
They look back and forth between you and him for a moment and says, "Alright, fine, but keep it in the coat."
I can do that.
They just give everything that you put in the coat a quick mark with the, essentially the invisible marker they have. Is your friend ready? Your friend does not declare anything.
Colossus will give him a curious look, surprised that he, of all people, has more magical items than anybody else in existence.
Alright. And you guys are let into the building. So, guys move a bit. So, now that you are both entered into the establishment, you can see that there are probably a few dozen people scattered around this lower level, talking amongst themselves, as music plays from the level above you. You can see spiral staircases leading to the second floor. And waiters coming from the west wing of the building carrying trays of wine and hors d'oeuvres. People are just stopping them and asking for drinks. It doesn't appear like they are being ordered at this time. These are just like the general stuff where they're making the rounds to see if anybody needs anything. As you guys enter in, you don't recognize any of the faces of individuals as they are talking around this floor. You can hear the sounds of voices coming from above you as well. And as you guys entered, you would be able to see a large Silver Order shield bearer just north of the eastern doorway here. As you're
sorry. This is an old thing, but I wanted to. I'm sorry, my brain spaced. Sure. While they were at the inn, would Reese have been able to memorize that location for teleportation later?
Sure.
Okay, that's all I wanted. I'm sorry. I just remembered it just now.
Yeah, you spent an hour there. You could spend a little bit of time looking around to get a feel for the place and where it was.
Okay, sorry.
And paying attention as you're traveling to know relatively where it is.
Okay, great. Sorry. Continue.
No problem. Additionally, you can see two halflings talking in the courtyard just north of the plaza. They appear to be the only people in there at the moment. As conversation is going on, you can see the two in the courtyard finish their discussions, and the woman heads north, and the man heads south up towards the open double doors and looks around at all the guests before clapping his hands and calling out to everybody and says, It is so good to see so many friendly faces have arrived. Welcome everybody to my estate. Feel free to relax and enjoy and talk amongst yourselves for the duration of your stay. I keep a very simple open doors policy of my estate during these affairs. Any door that is open, you are free to go into without any question, though I do ask that you not tamper with any locked doors or any doors currently being guarded either by my staff or by our guests from the Bressian Night Order. Do feel free to continue enjoying the music and making introductions here for the time being. In a few hours, my servants will be putting out a banquet for everybody on the second floor that you are free to enjoy at your leisure. We also have refreshments that will be served throughout the night, both within the building and within the gardens outside if you need to take a step away from everything. I very much look forward to meeting those of you that have put forward a request this afternoon, but until then, feel free to continue mingling. And he gives everybody a quick bow before heading off towards the east here, where the guards let him through the doorway there and then close it behind. As you guys are walking around, everything looks a fair bit busy. Reese, as you guys are looking around a bit, Nalarin stops for a moment and puts his finger in the air and goes, "Ah, yes, that was right." And he retrieves a small key from a ring at his waist and hands it over into your direction. Reese says, "I was lucky enough to secure a suite for the evening in case I needed to stay the night here, but I typically don't sleep at these events. So, this is the only key to the green suite in this building. If for any reason you need to step away from the party, either to take a break or to make preparations in the event that we need a performance from you later this evening, feel free to use the suite. It's just northwest of here on the ground floor. As long as you show them the key, the staff should not give you any problem, and you will have free reign over who has entrance into that quarter."
Thank you. I really appreciate this. And
Think nothing of it.
Reese will take off the Wayfinder compass and just thread the key onto the same chain.
All right.
And put it back on.
All right. Well, I have a couple people that I need to make introductions with. Feel free to relax and mingle for the time being. Later this evening, I have a couple of people that you may be interested in meeting, but let's wait for them to get a little more eased into things with a couple of glasses before we start breaking the ice.
Of course.
And as he departs, he just clasps one of your hands between his and gives you a quick bow, which you recognize as a more formalized, like, exaggerated departure. It's typically a variant of the kind where somebody would take a hand and kiss it, but done by people who either can't or do not wish to either make people uncomfortable or engage in that type of activity.
Reese will smile at him and nod.
And he heads off.
Reese is going to watch for one of the people carrying wine and then just reach out and grab one. Well, I suppose we should make ourselves comfortable.
Do you take a sip of the wine?
Gonna smell it first.
All right. So the wine has a very sweet, almost like chocolate-dipped fruit aroma to it. It's very sweet and decadent.
Oh, then yeah, gonna take a sip of the wine.
Yes. It's not a brand that you recognize by name, but it is very good.
Could get used to this.
All right. So, Tomas, as you guys get in, Kellum takes a look around and tries to see if he recognizes any faces. You see his mask slip for a second into a scowl before he catches himself and says, "Alright, I have a few preparations I need to make for things. I'll let you know once I'll be in need of your services. If you have the energy or desire for it, feel free to start talking to people. Otherwise, I think you probably have enough experience avoiding conversation as much as you do starting it."
Real quick question.
Yep.
When they walked in, would Tomas have noticed Lana and Reese?
Yes.
So while Callum is trying to talk to him, Tomas is staring. Not at all subtly.
So, Kellum just follows your gaze for a moment as he realizes he's talking to a blank, just talking to a wall that might not even be picking up what he says, and let's see. He seems to try to follow your gaze for a second, but gets lost in the crowd and just kind of looks at you with a cocked eye and says, "Find somebody you know or something?"
Not that I know. Wouldn't mind getting to know, but you know. I'm
He
sorry.
just smirks a bit at that and says, "Well, it seems like you found a way to pass your time then."
Yeah. Yeah.
He just gives you a quick salute and says, "I'll stay out of your way for a bit then. I'll let you know once I need you."
Sounds like
What a
fun.
wingman. What a bro.
Yeah.
Little does the poor guy know that he's wingmaning for Tomas's own boyfriend disguised as a woman.
We.
Not disguised. He is a woman right now.
I mean, yeah. Burbage.
Alright. So, you guys currently have free run of the estate for any initial observation that you guys would like to do. How would you guys like to start your evening at the party?
Reese is gonna look at Lana and be like, well?
Well, what? We're here.
Where would you like to go? Fun?
Sure. That sounds like a great idea. Where's fun at one of these?
Reese will swap hands with the. No, he won't. Because he's got his violin case in the other hand. Never mind. But we'll get closer and like kind of lean in and be like, "You're trying too hard." And just like
Yeah.
give Lana a little wink. Perhaps we should see if we can find anything to eat.
Well, they did say that there was gonna be something up on the second floor. here in a little bit.
Oh, but
I don't know if there's anything down here.
There's always something around.
Oh, is there? All right. Well, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't there be? I mean, they got plenty of chances to. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Reese is gonna go to the left.
Alright.
Lana's gonna go with.
Alright, you guys have free reign to
Okay.
explore.
It was paused, so I was like, I can't move.
So, as you guys head west, you start heading into a small banquet room. It looks like plates are currently set up around the edge. So it doesn't currently look like it's being place set for people to sit at the table itself. It looks more like it's being set up as a feast table with various appetizers and small meals that people can take off of it. And it looks like there have been people coming and going. You pass by a few that have a small plates themselves. Most of them are servants looking to carry that food elsewhere, probably to people that ordered it. But there are some guests with less formal attire that also appear to be taking part.
Every time someone that is obviously a guest makes eye contact with Reese, he will smile at them. Very charming.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back to what he's doing. Reese is gonna approach the table, gently set down the violin case, and then go for the tastiest looking piece of finger food on the table.
All right. What? So let's say they have a lot of small things set up right now, varying from tiny little quiches to a chocolate fountain in the center with various fruits set up around the edge of it. And it looks like the fountain is split in half. One side white chocolate, one side dark chocolate. Is there any type of food in particular you're looking for?
Nope,
Or just
fountain's perfect.
Whatever catches your eyes. Perfect.
Are there strawberries?
That does seem to be popular. Yes, there are strawberries.
Reese is gonna get a strawberry and like just dip a little bit of it in the white chocolate.
Mhm.
And enjoy
Alright.
that.
Yes. It's been a while since you remember having any treat like that. It's a soft sweetness to it. It doesn't feel like you could eat too much, but it is very good.
Reese will look at Lotta and be like, "Oh, you must try this."
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I'm not really too big on like sweets and stuff, especially after Clear Haven and all that. You sure it's all right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll trust you on this, and he'll just step forward and try it.
Poor awkward Lana with super charismatic Reese.
All right. Looking for any particular fruits?
Probably just like the strawberry chocolate combo that she saw from Reese.
Yep. It is a nice mixture of a natural soft sweetness to a very smooth, creamy, extra sweetness from the chocolate. It is a pleasant combination that you don't recall having fairly often, if at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you were not kidding.
Then Reese just smiles, picks up the violin case, picks up the wine. Is like, well, let's keep moving.
Wait, we're not gonna. Oh, okay. Where to?
Anywhere.
Hmm.
I think the point is just to wander around and see what we can find.
Right. I did hear that.
Alright.
Okay, let's wander. Do you feel the need for protection, or should we just kind of go our separate ways for a bit and just see what we stumble into?
Reese will kind of pause and kind of cock his head to the side and be like, well, if you would like to go on your own, that's perfectly fine. I think I can handle myself.
Hey, well, I'm gonna go do my own thing then, and hope that things go okay.
Lana was never seen from again.
Lana just phases through the wall. Goodbye. Reese will just wink at Lana and then turn around and probably gonna head north actually while drinking wine.
All right, so what of these doors are like open and like what are not? What's the?
So all the doors that you can see, if you can see light through the other side, they're open.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so like, if it's like that, it's closed.
Okay. In that case, Lana's just gonna kind of march over this way and just start kind of hanging out and going through rooms and stuff.
Yep.
Just kind of milling about randomly.
Yep. As you explore to that side of the building, you can see a couple people coming and going from the room ahead of you. It appears to be a hallway that leads outside. They have a couple of attendants waiting by the doors to get people coats for the outside, because it is getting it's a bit cooler outside than it is in the building, in case people need either coats given or coats put back to a coat room.
Aha.
But we'll pause there for a moment. And Tomas, what would you like to do?
Hi. This man over here with the pretty blue icon, do we know who he is?
You do not. As you're looking around the room, most of the people appear to be in various merchant or formal wear, but that individual appears to be standing out a little bit more than the others around him. He's wearing a finely tailored robe that cuts off just before, just at the right height, so it floats just above his feet as he's walking. It appears to be very ornate in its design. You can see a tome chained around his waist and dangling off the side. And he seems to be conversing with several other individuals, but you can't really make out what he's saying from this distance with all the other noise going on around you.
So he's talking to other people.
Yes.
Does it look like very important talk where if it were interrupted he would be irate? Or
no,
like...
most of the people on this floor are just engaging in like small talk. They don't appear to be doing any in-depth meetings.
Okay.
People are like, you see when people start getting too deep into conversation, they tend to go upstairs or into a side room or something like that.
Okay. And like I can see like that smidgen of a Silver Order asshole over there, right?
Yes, you can see the Silver Order man up there.
Okay, Tomas is gonna wiggle himself over this guy.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And Tomas is trained enough to integrate himself into a conversation.
Yeah, and he's gonna like wiggle so he has like just enough view on the Silver Order guy to keep like one eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then give like a small bow to the gentleman and be like, "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. My name is Tashlin Delar, and I must say, you really do know how to stand out in a crowd, don't you?"
Thank you very much, Tatlin. My name is Theodore Ryan. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I must say, your choice of attire and companionship certainly sets you out from the crowd a bit as well. He just says that as his eyes train on Maya, just flopped over your shoulders, just looking around idly.
Tommaso reach up and like just kind of pet her head a little bit, and it's like, it's often hard to just leave her at home, you know. You get yourself a pet and they become your child.
Yes. You'd be surprised how universal that is. Some of the mages like to walk around with familiars, and even though they don't necessarily need it, people like to baby them and say it's the familiar's fault, not their own.
Oh, definitely. It is not at all my fault that she is the most spoiled princess on this earth.
Oh, I
Full
wouldn't
of
dare
it.
imply that.
He'll just grin. Can you kind of infer that this guy is a mage then, with the way he's
Yes.
talking? Okay.
With his attire and the way he's speaking, yes.
Alright, what was his name again? Alistair?
Theodore Ryan.
Wow, I was off. Can you spell his last name for me?
Ryan.
Wow.
You're doing so good tonight, Sam.
Listen, I had 4 hours of sleep before everything.
Yep.
Why? Something about the dramatic N at the end just got me. R-Y.
I didn't hear Ryan, I heard Ryan, and I'm like, okay, how is he spelling this one?
That's fair.
Okay, I'm good.
Tommaso smiled a little bit. He's like, if you don't mind giving in to my curiosity a little bit. While at a party full of businessmen and marketeers and, you know, the stuffy whatnots, what is a mage like yourself doing here?
The stuffy whatnot.
Give me either a diplomacy or a society check.
One of those is better than the other. It is definitely not diplomacy.
Alright. So, you get a rough feel for the way he's speaking and pose the question to him, and he seems to laugh a little bit at that and says, do I stand out that much? And here I thought I was holding my own pretty well. Normally, I'm not one for events like these, but unfortunately, my previous supply of magical items and regents and the like has been a bit cut short by the war effort. I'm hoping to find anybody interested in re-establishing those types of trade relationships. Without a direct connection to Hearthwaite anymore, it's a bit harder to keep the mage schools up and going anywhere else. And I can't say business has been great when you don't have anything to teach other than theory as a result of lack of supplies.
So essentially what he's doing is what Avi's trying to do, right?
He is trying to find people that have the connections and resources to supply him with magical components and items. And it sounds like that is for the purposes of either allowing magical academies as a whole to continue to exist outside of Hearthwaite or to assist with his business directly, and he kind of put equal weight on both, at least with how he was talking.
Oh. Does that sound like... Because Avi's trying to re-establish, like, trade connections for magical items also, right?
Yes, magical items, spell components, alchemical items, supplies in general. AV is a more generalist trader that focuses on higher end items.
Yeah. So would
It's hard to say if he also would be looking at higher end items as well. He only specifically went into training regions in general, not if it was like high level or low.
Okay.
Also, no, you're from Elvenland. Alright. Anything else, Tomas?
I think he'd mostly just keep up small talk with this guy for a little bit while trying to subtly occasionally glance at the Silver Order guy.
Yep.
Probably...
Roll me a stealth check if you're trying to be subtle about it. Alright, yeah, he doesn't notice.
Oh.
Alright.
He'd casually pluck a glass of wine up, let Maya sniff it, doesn't let her drink it, but will drink it himself. You don't understand, the cat's gotta know what everything is.
Yeah, it's true. Just make a note here.
They gotta sniff.
They gotta sniff.
They must sniff.
Alright. Reese, we're back to you.
Alright. Northward bound!
So, heading north out of the entrance hall, you can see there is a small, well-maintained courtyard here. The trees themselves currently have a number of dancing lights embedded within them, giving them an otherworldly glow as light of various colors radiates from within the leaves, giving it an interesting sea of colors as you step out into the courtyard. It doesn't look like anybody else is currently here, but on the far side of the courtyard you can see an older woman. She seems to be standing over and praying at a little monument of sorts on the far side.
Oh no. Okay. Reese will kind of not quietly approach. Doesn't want to be stealthy about it. Wants to kind of not sneak up on this person.
Yeah, just like gently approach.
Yeah. And then just quietly clear his throat and say, good evening.
So, as you call out, the woman takes a moment to finish her prayer before turning over and looking at you, and let me get you her picture.
Wee.
Oops, that is Tomas's private channel.
Aww. She looks very sweet, actually.
Yes. I'm trying to have a fun mix of characters for this.
Reese would find the sweet old lady. He needs another mom.
Here is the full picture of Theodore.
Ooh.
At least from top.
Suave.
Alright. So, she turns to face you and says, hello. Is there something I can do for you, young lady?
Oh, no. Sorry for disturbing you if I was. I haven't been to one of these in quite some time, so just exploring.
Making the rounds. Oh,
Yeah.
I know how it is, dear. And don't worry at all, I was just finishing up paying my respects.
Oh.
It might seem a bit unusual. Have you been to the Heartlands often?
No, actually.
The people here tend to be a bit more family oriented than most, maybe save for the Dwarven lands. And she just gestures to the monument behind her. Excuse me, Leo? Leo sprinting, just headfirst into a chair.
Graceful son.
Baby.
I was familiar with the founder of the Ambercrest estate who passed only a few years back. I like to take a little time out of the way every time I visit just to come by and
Grim!
yeah. And just pay my respects again.
Oh, well, that's lovely, I think.
You're very kind to say so, dear. But I don't recognize your face from around here, though I guess you did say that you don't come here often.
It's my first
What are you
time
here
visiting
for tonight?
I'm accompanying. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. No! help.
His name was Nelarin.
Valerin?
Nelarin.
Nelarin, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm accompanying Sir Nelarin. I'm a performer. I play the violin.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Sorry, brain falling apart.
No, same.
What's a brain?
Yeah.
God, I wish I knew.
Who has that?
Ah, yes. I don't believe I've met him at these events either before, so it must be a first time for you both. Well, the Ambercrests have always been very welcoming to new arrivals, so I do hope that you have a wonderful time here, dear.
Oh,
Are you planning on performing tonight? Or is this just a relaxation?
It's possible that I may perform. In fact, I'm hoping. I do so enjoy it and love sharing it.
She smiles a bit warmly at that and says, well, I'll be sure to keep an eye out for it.
Thank you. Do you have any recommendations on where perhaps I should wander next?
She gives that a quick thought over as Matt checks something.
Thumbs up.
Are you looking to find any potential patrons or familiar or new friendly faces at all?
That sounds wonderful, actually.
Well, there's a couple of individuals you might want to keep an eye out for. It's been a little bit since I've been back to the main party, but last I saw them, Barnaby Hall and Garen were both on the upper floors. A portly gentleman, Barnaby Hall. He wears a monocle, should be easy to spot from the crowd. He's a bit taller than most of the other guests here. And Garen, I believe, is the only tabaxi amongst the crowd tonight. He should be easy to spot as well. Both of them are wonderful individuals and should make for great conversation partners.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we run into each other again.
I think that would be wonderful, dear. Do enjoy yourself.
Thank you. And you as well. Reese will quietly leave.
Yep.
Mentally being like, that was awkward.
Yeah,
Mistakes
she didn't
were
seem
made.
upset by it.
No, Reese is just like, man, that is a dead person.
Yeah, you can't really remember too many estates that had the dead person enshrined in the building, but
And
that's the fun of learning new cultures.
she said they were both upstairs, right?
Correct. Do you want to head upstairs?
Sure.
Alright, allow me to take you upstairs.
Let's go upstairs.
Oh god. Is it around there?
Oh my gosh.
Ah, so close. I just scatter shot you into the darkness.
That's okay. Oh my gosh, it is so ritzy up here. It's Avi! Oh no, Avi's
Yes.
at the table with both of those people.
Yep. So Avi would catch you heading up the stairs, and she seems to wrap up a conversation and give them a quick bow before heading off, and she doesn't make eye contact with you as she moves to a different part of the building.
Reese will scan, like, basically sweep his eyes across the room, see Avi briefly, but not make eye contact. Just keep looking around until Avi wasn't there anymore, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Not making it obvious, but...
Yeah. And I will give you the pictures for the two people that you are looking for, and then we're going to swap to somebody else.
Thank you.
Alright. Here is the boy. Oh, whoops, I also forgot. This is the man of the house. He does not actually have a tray of muffins with him.
Okay. That is fair.
This was the woman he was talking to.
She's cute.
And here are the two individuals that you just ran into, Vid.
Oh my gosh, look at those cheeks! I want to pet them. And he looks very dapper, but also very Dutch.
Alright.
Alright.
So, Lana.
Hello.
How's Lana doing?
Lana is starting to get the nerves out. You know, she's just kind of milling around the halls. She has a little bit of time to herself and just be like, oh, all right, you know, I'm doing okay. I just need to not completely choke the next time I have a conversation, and, you know, things are going to be pretty good, so...
Just a quick timeline thing as we're moving about and you guys are having all these conversations and Lana's looking around. Tomas, you do eventually see Goggin head out of the meeting room he's in, and the guard outside heads inside for a brief period of time as Goggin heads upstairs and heads off towards the east corridor here. So you see him briefly come upstairs behind you, Reese, about like a minute or so afterwards, and then he goes to the east corridor on the second floor and locks it behind him.
Sus.
So this hallway right here, is this the meeting room itself, or is it like a hallway with meeting rooms?
This eastern corridor you haven't gotten a look at, so you can't say for sure.
Okay.
You do see a couple people occasionally heading that way and heading south, so the area where it wasn't being directly guarded.
Okay.
Sorry, he didn't head to the east corridor, he headed to the west one. I mixed up where the stairwells were.
You said he went west?
Yeah, he went to the west corridor, so he essentially went to the opposite side of the building and up a floor. Alright.
Okay.
Back to Lana.
Yes. Yeah, she's just kind of like, walking through these halls, just, shaking it out, taking a look around, seeing if there's anyone or anything particularly noteworthy around.
As you're heading around this side area, you do notice the doorway over here has a green pattern on the front of the doorway, and the one just north of where your token is now has a gray pattern on the doorway.
Aha. Green and gray.
And you did mention that the door with the green pattern is roughly in the direction that Nalarin informed Reese that the private room that was reserved for him was located in case they needed to step away from the party.
Okay. So, yeah, Lana will just kind of nod a little bit at that and just be like, oh, okay, so that's the room where we're going. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Going to find it.
Yep. And as you're heading east out of that location, you see a small woman, a halfling with various scars across her face and a stern, emotionless face, heading south down the hallway here. She glances over in your direction and past you down the hallway as she heads through, but she doesn't directly talk to you unless you stop her.
Yep. Lana will just kind of like watch her go and just be like, oh, okay.
Yep. She just seems to be making the rounds at the moment. She does have full armor on and a small mace at her side.
Alright, so not messing around.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Lana wouldn't intervene with the patrols. She would kind of like head up this way though, and just kind of see what's going on. Maybe up in this like, those are windows. I thought that was like an open door.
Those are windows.
All right.
As you see here, a woman seems to be finishing up a prayer and heading south towards the main building. And at the far side end of the hallway is an unmoving Silver Order knight with a large shield. They don't seem to respond to your arrival at all.
Upon seeing the Silver Order guy, Lana will just kind of step forward and kind of mill around and just kind of look as though she's not trying to immediately turn around and retreat before she turns around and retreats and just kind of comes back down this way. Nope. Turn this boat around.
Lana is doing her best.
Yep. And so she'll probably just kind of find herself back in this open area, just kind of looking around.
Yep. You can see Tomas speaking with a robed gentleman to the southeast. You see the older woman conversing with a few people to the northeast. And you see two spiral staircases leading upstairs to the north of you.
Lana will like look towards Tomas for a moment and be like, "Oh wait, I don't know him." All right. Let's see what's around. And then socially awkward Lana will kind of awkwardly just kind of make her way around and just see what's upstairs.
All right. It's the stairways right here that lead upstairs. You can check out that eastern corridor though. Nobody's gone that way yet.
Oh yeah, sure. Then that's what he'd probably do then, or she'd probably do. So,
yep.
This is hard.
They.
Yep. So as you're heading into the east hallway, if you head south, there are no issues. You can see a lavatory to the south that is propped open just enough that you can see that it is unoccupied, but not showing any of the business equipment, so to say. You can see another spiral staircase to your east, and a set of double doors that are open leading to the south.
That's what she's gonna check out, actually. Just, pop open through the double doors and just kind of step on in.
Yep. in this room, there is a running water pool that appears to not currently be occupied by anybody, and another smaller set of double doors leading to the east.
Whoa, what in the? They got like an indoor pool in here? That's just crazy. Who are these people? Ugh.
It doesn't seem big enough to swim in, but it's like deep enough that you could sit in and rest your arms around the outside.
Yeah, that was just Lana's like external monologue as she's just kind of walking through the room.
As you get closer to this room, it's a lot warmer inside of it. You can see a little bit of steam pouring out as you get closer, and there are clean towels lining the walls there, and two closed, like slightly cracked jar booths here. You do not hear the sound of anybody, and they do not appear to be occupied. So if you want to peek into one of them, you can see what they are.
Yeah, that's what she'll do. She doesn't know like what a sauna is. So
Yep. So when you pop into here, ignore the fact that there's like individual baths. These are two small like sauna type rooms.
Okay. Yeah.
Not currently in use, but all of the equipment is set up so that if people wish to use it, they can. It seems more like something that people would start doing towards the end of the evening when most of the guests have left, for like the people that are staying like overnight.
Lana will take a moment to just kind of like fan herself in her shirt and just be like, okay, it's hot, and just kind of escape that room. Because she's done up with like armor and shit, so
Yeah.
she's like, okay, that's really warm.
All right. Anything else you would like to check out in the east corridor?
She would probably head up the staircase afterwards. Just that's where her adventures would probably take her next.
Yep. So if you the staircase to the east or the staircase in the main room?
Oh, to the east. Oh.
So as you start heading towards the east, the guard turns their head in their direction and says, "Apologies, civilian. The staircase and doors here are closed to public transit."
Understandable. Have a nice day.
And they just give you a nod as you return to the party.
Lana's suffering right now.
Poor Lana. I feel so bad.
Do you want to head upstairs through one of the spirals?
Sure.
All right. Lana heads upstairs.
Oh.
All right.
All our tokens going on a journey.
Yep. All right. So back to the boy Tomas. What would you like to do? Sam?
I was muted and I thought I unmuted and I didn't do that. He was gonna follow the guard guy because he's suspicious, but he saw Alana go that way and then come back. He's like, well, Alana would have found something if there's something there.
Yeah, the guard that moved literally went into the locked doors and then locked them behind him again.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
So suppose he's just gonna go upstairs. Party. He'll very, very graciously and properly say his goodbyes to his new magic friend and be like, if I hear of any connections that might help you, I'll let you know, friend.
That would very much be appreciated. I would be in your debt.
And Tomas will just smile, give it a little bow and leave.
Where did you say you wanted to head next?
Upstairs.
Everybody upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's an adventure.
Okay, so everybody is like going very, very slowly, right? It's not just me.
Your token's already moved for me.
It's still moving. It is inching along the map. It is actually, the lag is so bad.
Oof.
Yeah, no, you've already been moved on mine.
It literally just got there.
Rip.
It's, I don't understand what's happening. I'll also look at do quick glances at Reese and Lana because he's not supposed to know them.
Oops.
And he'll probably just start exploring and kind of head this way.
Yep.
Oh, god damn it. Oh,
Sorry, doors.
it's okay. I gotta inch myself that way and then inch myself over. No.
Does it not let you through there?
It will, it's just
Okay.
really bad lag. What is that down south?
It is a lavatory.
Oh. Okay, Matt, real quick.
Yep.
Can Tomas actually go to the lavatory?
Yes.
He's gonna go in there and he's gonna take a moment to switch out the cat treats, for his bow and his gloves.
I hate this motherfucker.
But he'll
What a
stick like a
goblin.
few cat treats in his pocket so he still has them.
Yeah.
Obviously.
What a fucking goblin.
And I think yeah, he's gonna do that real quick. Oh, this is so slow to see anything.
Yeah, it does not like the connection from my house to Avrix's house, apparently.
Apparently not. He's just gonna like start wandering, I guess, in like this whole area.
Okay.
Um,
I can drag you, and then by the time I'm done with one person, I'll move you to another corridor.
just until he finds someone who maybe looks interesting to talk to, I suppose.
Alright. Let me know when you finish getting down that corridor.
Okay. Okay, I did it. Up. What are all these red bits? Are those just like...
Those are like
Entry.
doormats.
Okay. I'll move back. I'm gonna guess if he goes down those stairs, that takes him to like the kitchen-y area that Reese and Lana were in.
That would take him right outside the downstairs private rooms and right next to the banquet hall and the doorway leading out to the gardens. I don't think anybody's gone to the gardens yet.
When he walks by like this mat right here, can he check to see if the door is locked?
Which one?
This one that's right here.
Okay, yes. The door is locked.
Okay. He'll just give a peculiar hum. Go back downstairs.
Alright.
He's just wandering at this point.
Baby.
Yeah, gotta get a feel for this.
Yeah. Mapping out the layout in his head so he knows where to run to.
Oh my god.
Alright. And, did you have anywhere specific you wanted to head to downstairs?
the gardens. Let's go.
Hell yeah. So, you head outside with Maya. And as you look around, there's a couple people milling about. You do notice. You do notice that patrolling around the outside, mainly like above the estate itself, like I put it on the ground, but they're like patrolling the rooftop edges, are 4 more Silver Order watchmen.
Tomas will like quickly school the scowl that pops up on his face.
Yep. Looking around, there's a few people outside here. Mostly hanging around a small gazebo just to your northeast. There also appears to be a half-orc man by himself with a very annoyed look on his face as he just grips an entire ass bottle of wine and taking sips from it.
Wolf, what are you doing here?
He's dressed in much too fancy clothes to be Wolf.
Is it this guy down south?
Yes.
And those are those chairs?
Yes.
Okay, Tomas is
Get
gonna
it, Tomas.
pick. He's gonna pick Maya up off his shoulders because they're outside. And he'll let her walk with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna go.
Oh, there's gonna be walls there. I'll drag you.
Okay. Heckin' word.
Yeah, it's an invisible wall, so you can see it, but you can't walk through it.
Yeah. I'm gonna plop himself down there with a sigh and just like. He's trying to be casual and cool about it, and also like show his exasperation at the event to make that like cool dude connection.
Give me a society check.
Oh no, I closed my character sheet.
Rip. Hey.
What did I... Oh.
Hell yeah. So, do you want another drink as you're walking over?
Yes.
So, as you're walking by this guy, you grab one of the bottles off the rack outside, grip the cork with your teeth, spit it off into the garden, and just plop down next to him and take a sip.
Smooth.
The guy gives you a look over and says, "It's awful, isn't it?"
Every goddamn time.
I have no idea how people keep getting business done like this. And he adjusts the suit, and you can tell it's a little awkwardly fitted for him, and he doesn't feel comfortable in it. At least it's quiet out here.
Yeah. This is gonna look him up and down. He's like, you know, as much as I really hate these places, you definitely do not look like you are enjoying yourself.
If I didn't need to be here, I wouldn't. But unfortunately, this is the best opportunity I have. Not gonna picture the guy.
The awkward pauses are Sam thinking.
That's fine. He is also not
He's
very
hot
good at
too.
talking, so there's awkward pauses.
Everybody's hot. Except for the monocle guy.
Tomas is just gonna look the guy up and down again and be like, so, let me take a quick guess. You are part of a group of people who are in dire need of some sort of supplies that has been blocked off by this shitty ass war that is continuously going, and your only way or best option in order to get even just like the barest minimum of food to feed yourselves is to come and play dress up with all the stuffy whatnots. Yeah?
He just gives you a suspicious squint for a second. Not. You're much better at this game than I am.
I mean, he'll reach up and tug at an ear. He's like, been playing it pretty long.
Fair enough. You got the right of it. My people have been living around here for some time. But unfortunately, the war has put things into a bit of a disarray. Most of the locals are now unwilling or unable to help us like they were in the past. I'm trying to see if I can negotiate a contract between some of the people here. See if our services can't be mutually beneficial to somebody.
Tomas will reach down and scratch Maya between the ears and be like, well, what's your name there, friend?
I'm Tret.
Trent?
T-R-E-T. Tret.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Chet. My name's Taflin. As someone who's played the game for a while, and let's be honest, these stuck-up business people, they've got enough, and the normal people, they're the ones who need it more so. Like, I get where you're coming from, so what's it you do then?
Sorry. Primarily, our people work as guides, or scouts, or escorts. Business is usually good when there's turmoil going on, but as you might guess, people aren't too keen to travel, considering the brand of turmoil we've had of late. So business has dried up, and as much as we're able to sustain for ourselves, hunting hasn't been great as of late either. We have very little to trade, unfortunately. So we're not exactly in the best position. You can tell he's not very good at keeping cards close to his chest for these types of negotiations.
Yeah. Tomas will kind of just nod along, then lean back and take a drink out of his wine bottle. He's like, well, Tret, I'm gonna sit here with you and kind of relax for a minute, because, you know, you're not the first person I've had a conversation with at this party, and honestly, the social meter's getting a little bit low, but, you know, when I've got that recharged, I might have some ideas for you. I'll see if I can make it work.
He gives a solemn nod at that and says, any advice you might have would be greatly appreciated.
I'd have to talk to a few people, but I'd get back to you.
Alright. So, you have a little bit of wine chat with your new friend. Let's swap back to Reese.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright. So Reese is going to slowly and as casually as possible make his way over here. And as he approaches, let out a sigh and say, do you mind if I join you? Rest my feet a little bit?
Not at all. Please come take a seat.
Thank you. And Reese will sit down, gently set the violin case down in one of the seats next to him, and set his wine down, and let out a very relieved sigh and say, I'm still getting used to these shoes, you understand?
So as you look over and you see the cat folks' feet being crossed, you can see that he does not wear shoes.
Reese will look at that, look up, and then start laughing. Or maybe
He
not.
seems to chuckle from that as he takes as he puffs out a bit of smoke from his pipe and he says, it is a common mistake. But I'm used to long journeys, and what is a party but a long journey in a single place?
Indeed.
How rude of me. And he gives you a overly formal bow from his seated position. You may call me Garan. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And my friend here, Barnaby Hall.
It's lovely to meet both of you. I am Rosalind, but you can call me Rose for short. It's a pleasure.
Indeed. And what are you in the business of, Miss Rose?
Entertainment, music specifically. I've been told I have quite the talent for it.
Oh, and that is quite interesting to hear. As interesting as many of them are, most of the people here simply deal with numbers and goods. It is interesting to meet the rare few here who have a talent in something more... What's the word for that? Artistic.
Yes, well, I have been feeling a little bit out of place, but hopefully perhaps later I'll get a chance to perform. Maybe things will be a bit easier then.
One can only hope. It would be a shame for you to spend the entire night uneasy in a place full of such wonderful folk.
Well, I must say that the current company is quite charming. And she'll just kind of grin and take a sip of wine.
He gives you a toothy grin, and you realize you haven't seen him open his eyes once this entire time, and he says,
Sleepy kitty.
yeah. Well, I am in the business of being charming. So are you invited directly? Or are you in the company of somebody here for other business?
I am in the company of Sir Nalaran, if you've heard of him.
Yes, his name has gone around ever since he arrived. The other man dealing in art and entertainment. I can see why he would have brought you as a guest then.
Well, it was an easy stop in my travels, and I can never say no to a party.
Fair enough.
And can I ask what brings you fine gentlemen here this evening?
I am here in the business of looking for business. As I understand it, This continent has been woefully bereft of Hulgarian goods ever since the incursion, and this one intends very much to help reduce that deficit.
That's
And
what I expect.
I'm currently in the business of looking for enterprising individuals that might be on the lookout for mutually beneficial services. Sorry, trying to think of the way to phrase this.
Nah, you're good. It is like midnight there.
Yeah. As dreadful as things have been, people's minds have been stuck solely in war as of late.
Yes. Dreadful business.
Indeed, and there are so many others being left in the wayside because of it. I'm hoping to find a few people here that might be in the need of a little bit of patronage so the world can understand how necessary those arts still are.
Risa look a bit intrigued and take a sip of wine. Well, I think that is... Well, I may be biased, but I think that's a very worthwhile pursuit.
Indeed. Are you also from Oliva, Alari?
Yes, I am.
I see. I haven't had a chance to visit since things went down. How is your city doing?
It's doing well, actually. Coming back, slowly but surely. For the most part, things seem to be normal.
And he lets out a puff of smoke from his pipe and seems to nod at that, seeming a little bit relieved at that information. Says, good to hear that there's still at least one hub of the arts left.
Yeah, I hope
Hopefully with enough time it can spread to the other cities.
I do certainly miss it when I'm traveling.
But hopefully, given your trade, people are giving you warm welcomes in your travels.
For the most part, yes. Of course, not everybody's the same, but I like to bring smiles where I can.
And Barnaby gives a bit of a smirk at that and says, good to see hope hasn't been lost quite yet then. Is there anything else specific you want to discuss with them? Otherwise, you guys can continue small talk for a little bit.
Let me see here. Processing, buffering. Nothing comes to mind, so yeah, we can just say that they fill in with small talk.
Yep. Alright, and Lana, what would you like to do on the upper floor?
Lana is going to continue her meandering ways. She'll briefly kind of glance over to watch Reese take his seat at the table and just go, alright. And she's just gonna kind of step into... Oh, never mind. Yep, she's just gonna... just kind of slip into this... Oh wait, that just goes to a laboratory. Yep. Yeah, she'll just kind of orbit around. And if this hallway has anything... going through a wall. La 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 la. She'll just kind of see what's going on.
So it looks like there's a couple guards patrolling the hallway, and it's a little bit less busy down here, but you can hear the sounds of people gathering and talking over drinks to the north of there as well, where it's a little bit quieter, but there still seems to be a fair number of people over there. To the west, it sounds mostly like people are doing work, but otherwise it's much more quiet than the rest of the party in the West Wing.
Oh, okay. So,
And you do see more
west.
colored doors. The one right here has a red patterning on it, and the one over here has a gold patterning to it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think Lana's plan right now is just kind of mill around and see how much she can see.
Map out.
Yeah, just kind of map out and see if like anyone just kind of happens to be around inadvertently or whatever.
Yep.
All
right.
these rooms are probably closed. Yep.
Yep. All those are appear to be like servants' quarters. So, as you guys are all having conversations or looking around, everybody roll me a perception check.
Perception. Boy, howdy. Very distracted by these very entertaining men.
Yep. So.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ. Okay. So, Lana and Tomas. Reese, you hear this part as well due to proximity. It's faint for you, but you to the east of you all and down a bit. So you know it's to the east, Reese. With your guys' perception checks, you know it's to the east and on the first floor. You hear the sound of banging, like something hitting the ground hard. And the sound of rushing footsteps to the east. Lana, due to your proximity and hearing, and your check you made, you also hear the clattering of a bunch of tiny objects plinking off the floor.
And that's like directly below Lana? Or east?
To the east and down a floor.
From... Can you ping a general direction for me? I'm sorry, I'm having a struggle.
So over here.
Oh,
but
all the
a
way
floor.
over there. Holy hell.
Yeah. So you
All
just
right.
faintly hear like the sound of like things, like a loud thump that you can clearly hear, like the sound of somebody in full armor hitting the ground, and then barely you hear the sound of like maybe 3 to a half dozen small objects clanking off the ground afterwards.
All right. Lana is going to hurriedly kind of... She'll finish casing this out in case there's like a staircase anywhere nearby. That leads down. But
That is a staircase that leads downstairs.
Yeah, her goal is to go check out that sound.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to put a guard at the top of that stairwell. I am sorry. That leads to like a locked area, so you would be stuck down there. That's like normal halfling guards. The closest stairwell would be the one to your north, or the one to the east in the central area.
Gotcha. She'd probably take this one, the one to the north, and then just get down to the ground floor and then go check that out.
Yep. You guys, a couple of the guests are looking over in that direction with a bit of concern, and you see a couple guards hurrying over in that direction, but most of them remain to keep an eye on things as people are a little bit confused, and you see them spreading whispers back and forth. I wonder what that was.
Hang on, give me a second to do some measuring real quick.
Would Reese be able to see Lana go downstairs?
If she heads down the north staircase, no.
120 feet, 120 feet. Which... Oh, no! Which table is Reese at again? I can't...
Right here.
Oh, 105 feet. So, on her way, like, down the staircase, she'll just kind of reach out and try to grab Reese with message range, and just be like, I'm gonna go check that out.
Okay, so Reese is gonna stay put then.
Yep.
Reese is just gonna look back and forth and be like, I don't know.
Tomas, you seem to have heard it. Your guest does not.
Tomas will just give a smile at his guest. He's like, well, I hear commotion. And that does make parties so much more fun, so I'll talk to you later, Trent.
Alright.
And he's gonna get up and, like, casually hurry over to where he heard the noise.
You did hear that Tret had one of the last meetings in the day, and he's out there essentially drinking to calm his nerves, so he should be there for a bit.
Okay.
Alright, so you're heading off in that direction too?
Yes.
Alright, Lon and I will drag you downstairs.
It was the east corridor, right?
Yes.
So I'll just go ahead and hit checkpoints. Yeah, make sure that.
Yep. All good.
I have a feeling that this is gonna end up being like Clue.
I would never.
All right.
Yeah, let me help.
Thank you.
Sounds like I'm stuck.
I'm stuck.
I will retrieve your cat as well.
Which is very
Okay.
important.
Lana's gonna pause about right here and see if she can figure out which direction the commotion is generally in.
So. Oops. You see a couple of people gathered here, and the guards trying to keep people back from getting too much closer. But you guys can get a rough idea. You can get a rough picture of the scene. They allow people are only able to get to about that close, Tomas.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that there are Silver Order guards inside further, looking around. Lana, are you staying there, or are you moving closer towards Tomas?
She'll move in closer as she's allowed to get. I don't know exactly where that is, so.
Yeah, you can get behind Maya.
I don't see Tomas.
Oh, if you head south, he should be there.
Don't see Tomas.
What?
Is it like in this room? Oh, nope.
No.
Where's Tomas?
He's right here.
I don't see a token there.
I think it's fine.
Weird.
I see.
Do you see it now?
No. Let me
Well,
refresh my
Tomas and
foundry. Maybe it's me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's super weird. I don't like Tomas just doesn't exist for me.
Foundry is struggling tonight.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm gonna blame Foundry.
Loading 99%. There you are.
All right. As you're heading south, you notice that Goggin Ambercrest isn't far behind you, with two guards following him, one of which is the captain of his guard, as they head into the room to figure out what's causing the commotion. And Tomas, you see one of the mage-garbed Silver Order Knights head down the staircase and into the room to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
The guards let you get a little closer so you can get up to this first row here, as they move back a bit to make sure people aren't getting up the stairwells, but they're not letting anybody else down anymore. So if you want to step forward just a little bit and see what's in the room, you can.
Yeah. Is it just like normal guards blocking the way, or is it Silver Order people?
There are only Silver Order people inside the actual room itself.
Okay, but Are there people like blocking the path to what's
You can get up to like here.
okay.
Um,
Cause Lana was gonna approach like the nearest like, official security that seemed to be just kind of holding the perimeter.
So if you want to take like 2 steps forward, you can talk to perimeter guard.
Yeah.
Tomas,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Tomas wants to get up as close as he can, but I can't see where that is.
You can take up to 2 steps forward and go as far south as you want.
Like right there. Oh, balls. Thank you.
So, Tomas, you see it as the guard tries to tell you, Lana, give me a persuasion check, or diplomacy check, rather.
Yeah. 27.
I assure you, sir, it is all fine. We have things under control for the time being. We're looking into exactly what happened in the room. If there are concerns, I recommend that you return to whoever it is that you were accompanying here to make sure that they feel safe at this time. But I assure you, the guard here are now on high alert. Whatever happened here will not happen again.
Very good. And sorry. Go ahead.
Tomas, as you're heading south, you just can't faintly catch a glimpse of what's going on in the room before the maid looks outside and sees everybody gathering outside and closes the door behind them. Roll me a perception check to see what you caught.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay. Hey, there we go. All right. So, as you looked over the room and you see the doors closing, you take a second to hyper focus, and you catch a couple of things. One, there appears to be a large man in extremely ornate silver order armor, who is now collapsed on the ground in a pool of blood, with his armor slowly beginning to disintegrate into that light.
It is blue.
What? Oh,
Ignore me.
I heard it's blue. I was like, what? You saw a dagger protruding from his neck, and you saw a number of cups scattered about him, leaving a pool of wine all over the top of his armor and around him. So, as things as rumors begin to spread about, what would you guys like to do as you hear guards discussing things inside and you hear the sounds of 3 sets of footsteps heading back towards the main hall?
Can Tomas walk by Lana and kind of like brush against them, and as like a way of like, hey, follow me real quick, but really subtle like?
So,
I would need a stealth check.
Well, I actually kind of had an idea for that. So, like, what Lana's gonna do is, as Tomas is getting closer, she's gonna be like, she's just gonna kind of like take him and be like, alright, well, it sounds like the guards have everything under control here, citizen. Let's get out of their way. And here, I'll escort you back to safer grounds, just to make sure nothing happens. As is the duty for a shield bearer.
Hell yeah, no check needed.
Okay.
What's going on, Tomas?
Is there somewhere we can get Rosalind and hide and talk?
There is. She has a room.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay. So okay.
So as you guys are heading back up the stairs, you can see that Goggin is now at the head of the room with his security officers next to him. And the music begins to die down. And he says, apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, there has been a bit of an incident at the moment. My security officials and the Brescian Knights are looking into it. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this event, we are going to have to lock down the estate for the time being. It is with great regret I must announce that nobody will be allowed to leave the estate grounds until we figure out what happened here. And that's where we'll be ending the session.
Oh, fun.
Are we having fun yet at the party?
Murder mystery! God damn it.
Tomas is more and more happy that he went to the bathroom now.
What?
He has his bow on him.
Oh.
Very quickly on him, might I add.
I love how, like, Tomas and Lana are just, like, being all sneaky and, like, being, like, putting their noses in everybody's business, and Reese is like, hi, I'm gonna make connections and be really polite because I'm just an entertainer. I should have thought this through beforehand.
Yeah.
Tomas made connections.
Yeah, he did.
He's trying to collect a person and their people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then Reese made friends with the philanthropist and the Olgarian merchant.
Wee. And an old lady.
Yes.
Whose name
And
we
an
never
old
got
ladies.
because he's dumb.
It is all good.
I was low-key hoping that each of the guests' names would be some form of indicator.
Color.
Yes.
I started, like, as it started progressing and, like, the sound happened, I was like, oh no, here we go. It's like an Agatha Christie fucking mystery now. Here we go.
No, we had fun. Well, I had fun. We'll see if you guys have fun.
I felt a little bit bad. I was like, man, Matt must be really exhausted doing all this social shit.
No, it's really good for working on improv.
Hi.
I have 10. I made 10 new NPCs for this. This is my cross to bear.
Jesus.
It's a party. You need to have people to talk to at the party.
Reese is pretending to be sweet and innocent.
Pretending.
Wow.
I mean, you said it first, Bit.
You did.
You kind of set yourself up for that one.
No, Matt's implying that Reese is sweet and innocent all the time.
Yeah, get fucked, idiot.
He's not.
How do you like the tabaxi?
I love him.
I found that picture and I was like, oh my god, he's perfect.
If Reese
really
was
hope-
not playing a role right now, Reese would be like, can I touch your face?
I really hope the trend of Tabaxi not having shoes continues forever.
Yes.
Block it's one dream and he'll never get them.
Getting shoes?
Yeah.
Sweats. All the tabaxis in my campaign have shoes.
Block it got no shoes.
Lana and Vit, roll me a quick perception check. I forgot to mention it earlier.
Perception.
You know what? Fuck it. Didn't use the hero point anywhere else. I don't give a shit. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Huh.
Alright, Reese.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Alright, you both noticed it. The boy that you traveled in with, Nalaran, he had a simple gold band on his right index finger.
He married?
Yes, it seems so. With that perception check, you would get the rough idea of the reason why he did the hand-only departure is he didn't want to put you or him in an awkward position, because
Right.
that's kind of like the thing that bachelors that are being coy and
Yes.
suave do.
Yes.
And he's trying to be a polite boy.
It's very sweet of him. Reese's like,
Mhm.
oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Better not.
So how do you like the wonderful batch of dipshits that you've run into in this party?
Reese
I'm
has met
collecting
tons
people.
of awesome people.
No, this was fun to make, because I usually don't have like all these low key like NPCs, so it's fun to have something different.
That's me. That's me being like, every mission has new NPCs because I hate myself.
Hmm.
But it's fun, huh?
Yeah, it's fun to have little like 1 or 2 note personalities and just roll with it.
I love how Reese is carrying his violin around like a purse with wine in one
Mhm.
hand, an owl on his shoulder, and is just like walking around like, "Hey guys!" And everybody's like,
Yo, what's up?
"Oh, okay." They're just like, "This girl is just here drinking wine." Okay.
Hmm.
A part of me, my brain is in Vic campaign mode.
Why?
Of how do I turn into recruitable NPC?
No.
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe they're all related to certain stuff. Anything could happen.
I want them.
Sam.
The
They're
mage I'm okay
definitely
without. The other ones I want.
they're definitely not combatants.
That's
Oh, no.
okay.
Yeah.
Not everybody
But
has to be.
yeah, sometimes you can just have friends that give you supporting stuff randomly down the line.
They're guides.
Yeah.
These people are
It's
guides.
gonna be slightly
Yeah.
awkward for Reese and Lana when they make friends.
Yeah. I mean, those potions are fairly like well known.
Reese just like,
Just the fact that you're pretending to be other people is a little weird, but
Reese is like, I was on
I
a
mean-
gender exploration study. You must forgive me.
also that's the only other NPC you didn't run into. You almost certainly will meet him next session.
Oh my gosh, look at that man. He's beautiful.
What a powerful gnome.
Fuck yeah.
He's all steampunky. I dig it.
Mhm.
What a nice hat he has.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm